without missing words. Should I just give my mic to someone? My sister voter from Bariga. We are now. National pledge.
I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to be faithful and I pledge Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my
Even me, I don't know it. I promise you. Listen, let me tell you my trick. I can't say it by myself. When people are saying, I now join heads and we all say it together. Chorus answer. That's what I do. So, can you say it? All right. Please, what's your name? Sorry?
Lekon. My name is Lekon.
Okay.
All right.
No, before you say it, where are you from?
I'm from Lagos State.
Lagos State. Or what languages can you speak?
Yoruba and English.
Yoruba and English. So what you're going to do for us is, you say the pledge in English, then you now translate in Yoruba. Thank you. Please, a round of applause.
Okay, I'll try that English. Okay, I'm good with English, but Yoruba, I'll try a little bit. All right. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God. So in Yoruba. Nigeria is still Nigeria. It's kind of funny, but it will be my first time of saying it in Yoruba. I've never think of it. I've been make any reasoning in it in Yoruba. So I'll try just say mobile phone. No. Oh no, it's okay. It's on a mobile phone. Ìlú mi láti ṣe ipa mi àti láti honor and glory. Honor, honor. It's not easy actually.
Please, a round of applause. I don't think anyone has thought of saying the national pledge in their indigenous language. They have. Okay, can you try it? Wow. So how do we know? You have a recording. Wow. Please, we need someone to just attempt, even if it's Hausa, if it's, nobody even wants to attempt. I should look away. I should look away. Even if it's in pidgin. Come on. Oh, I should give you the mic now. What's going on? What's going on? All right, then. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. Let's just stick to the English that we know. Okay. Right now, let's just stand as we take the national anthem. Amen. Thank you so much. You can have your seats. I'm sure while the national anthem was going on, you're like, now our national anthem with this. Wow. I'm just hearing this one for the first time. Come on now. All the, oh, come on. All right, then once again, I want to officially welcome you to Inspire to Lead Africa Conference 2023. It's so good to have you here. Thank you so much for making out time to be here. And it's definitely going to be an enlightening conversation. And without much further ado, I would love to call on our guest for the keynote speaker now. He is someone who is definitely shining his light in his career, and everyone can see an influencer, a politician, and an actor. And I would also love to use this opportunity just before we call the keynote speaker. I'd love to also call the convener of Ylad Hub, that is Owedoho Jonah. Please, a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. It is my privilege and honor to welcome you all to Inspire to Lead Africa Conference 2023. All right, and such a great time to be here today. All right, and before I go on, let me first of all appreciate God for giving us the privilege to, host this conference this year. We started last year, and this is the second edition of this conference. And let me appreciate my resident pastor this morning, Pastor Sarah, for allowing us to use this place for Inspire to Lead, such a great one for us. And let me also welcome the Governing Council of Ylad Africa, the Board of Trustees and Advisory Council, the country directors, and heads of management teams and members, volunteers, and everyone present here this morning. All right, so it's going to be a very short speech. Ylad is an acronym for Youth Leadership and Development Hub Africa. It's a platform where we educate the young people, the youths, we raise nation builders. And Inspire to Lead Africa Conference is a conference that is designed to support the youths to discover, develop, and deploy their various expertise towards their nation building. And in such a time like this, we need people who can stand in for their nation, who can come in and make impact in their society. Don't just leave it for the politicians, for for people in government. You can lead in your field. You can make impact in your field. So this conference is to help people, to bring up the young ones, to have them, contribute to their nation building. And nation building is actually, first of all, people's building. That's why we need to, first of all, help them to discover. All right? And we've seen how things play out in our nation, in our continent, Africa. Africa is a blessed continent, so we have what it takes to make it, a greater one indeed. All right, so I want to appreciate our guest here. Such an honor to have the group controller of TVC News. I call him Uncle Babajide, because he's like a father to me. So thank you very much for coming, sir. I appreciate you. And also, I want to appreciate my friend. All right, we became friends. Honorable Olumide, we know you are Starry from Johnson, so Starry, thank you for coming. I appreciate you. And our mama in the house, if you know Jennifer's diary. All right, so such an honor to have you, ma. Madam Lolo, and my Oga from Covenant Nation. He's one of our directors in Politics 101 team at a platform that Pastor Bodu gave us. Thank you very much for coming, sir. And my very good friend also, Honorable Olufumi. Thank you for coming. He's the head of Yali Nigeria. And everyone for coming out. I mean, it's such an honor to have all of you here to be a part of this conference. And also I have one of the members, Board of Trustees, Pastor Bridget. Thank you for being here. And we also have our church administrator. Thank you very much for approving this place for us to, make, and everyone here in this hall for volunteering to see how we can make this thing work. I appreciate you all. Thank you and God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Please, a round of applause once again to the convener of this awesome, life-changing event, Inspired to Lead Africa, Owedaho Jonah. I've told him, send me a voice note. Let me keep listening to it so that I'll know how to pronounce your name, so that you don't sue me. Owedaho Jonah. A round of applause once again. Okay, so up next right now is going to be a presentation by someone who I have been so privileged to watch and just see him evolve. He is a politician and, of course, an entertainer. He's an actor as well. And in a world where a lot of people and young people would use their opportunity and their influence to either do drugs or just act nonchalant, he's definitely taking a bold stride and bold step to ensuring that he influences his community, his nation, his environment in a good way. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause as I make welcome Honorable Olumide Oboro for his keynote speech. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Right. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, tall people issues. Yeah, so the plan initially was for this to be a speech, but looking at the size of this gathering, it feels very intimate, and I'd much rather we had a bit of a discussion if that's okay, like a nice back and forth, because for me, one of the most important things, especially as young people, that we need to do is interact and exchange ideas, because that's the easiest way to find like-minded individuals. And at that point, we can band together and try to, chart a course for Nigeria towards, the more positive side of life. So if I have the permission, I would like to have like a bit of a back and forth. Is that okay, everybody? Right, thank you very much. So my name is Olumide Oworu. You might know me as Tari Johnson from the #1 family sitcom on the continent, The Johnsons. Thank you. We've been running for 12 years. We're currently filming our 12th season. I got on the show when I was 17, and I turned 29 in December. So it's been a really amazing run. I've grown. Thank you very much. I've grown so much. On the show, I've basically grown up on TV. I consider myself an industry baby. I started acting when I was 6 years old. Before that, I was doing radio voiceovers from when I was like a year and a half, because apparently I started talking really early. And I was modeling for corporate brands, so press, outdoor billboards, handbills, that type of thing. So that really is a brief introduction to my entertainment background. One of the questions that I've gotten asked the most in the last couple of months is why politics? And it would interest a lot of people to know that I have always enjoyed having conversations, in and around matters that relate to politics, because of my dad. He's late now. My stepdad is late now, but he was very, very big on just engaging me, and just me even observing him and his friends having conversations about politics. So I did pick up a lot from him in terms of my liking or just wanting to learn more about politics. But then, why did I run? For me, the biggest thing is I understand that. Well, since we're back and forth, let me give you small inside gist. So, I lost one of my best friends. His name is Beats by Jay. He was a music producer. He passed in 2021, in November. And the week before he passed, we were talking about 2022. The plans that we had. He had just shot a music video So he had explained, okay, he wanted to drop the music video in February, and he had 2 EPs he had just produced himself as another artist. Long story short, he had given me the entire breakdown of his rollout plan for the very next year. And he passed 5 days after that conversation. Now, what that did for me is it really just opened my eyes to the fact that nobody knows how long we have here. So I can stand here and say, oh yeah, I wanna wait, I wanna, as they say, blow, make a ton of money, have a family, and then maybe in my 40s and 50s, we'll see what we can do for Nigeria. But I don't know if I'm gonna be here when I'm 50. I would like to be, but there is no guarantee. And I'm also not ignorant of the fact that my life has been very different from my birth. Basically, I've seen firsthand that there is a very evident grace of God upon my life, and I would like to think that my calling in life really is to give young people belief in the possibilities that their dreams are valid and anything is possible. More often than not, I found myself being the youngest person in and around anything that I'm engaging in. And what usually happens is after I start something, then some of my friends want to, try it out, and other young people want to try it out. And, before you know, there's more young people, trying out their hands at said thing. For example, I would use film. There was a time when I was the only person in my age bracket, at least that I know, that was active on Nigerian TV. And now I can, off the top of my head, I can count more than 20, 30 amazing young actors, young talents, that are doing super, super, super well for themselves and for the industry in general. So I'm very aware that there definitely is a calling on my life to inspire a lot of young people. And that, coupled with the fact that we have no idea how much time we have, is really what spurred me to really just live in the present, in the here, in the now, and see how much impact I can have. Now, I understand that I do have a following. I have social media numbers. I have numbers in real life. There's a lot of people that really just look to me as a source of inspiration. I know somebody sent me a message a couple years ago, and she said she went to university to study mass comm because I studied mass comm. And I'm like, I hope you like the course, because don't go and turn 4 years to 8 years because I did the course. But that spoke volumes to me personally. She doesn't know me personally, and I think that is such a big life decision in terms of what you want to study in the higher institution, because I believe that plays a huge role in what the rest of your life then becomes. And to base that decision off of just the fact that one Olumide boy went and did the course and he seems to be doing well for himself, it really did strike a chord. And I started to become more aware that there's people that are paying attention to what I'm doing, to how I'm living, to what I'm saying. And it's only right that I use said influence for, something positive. Now, back to the initial question, why politics? I am a young person living in Nigeria, and I am experiencing firsthand the issues of what it means to be a young person in Nigeria. Now, I remember growing up, we didn't have a generator in my house until I was in primary school. I think we bought our first generator when I was in primary 3. And we used to have light all the time. So how we've come from a point where, system was doing a lot better, roads were better, schools were better in terms of standard of education. I just think everything was just much better. The country was safer, the Naira was doing a lot better, because right now, if there's anybody that's earning in dollars in the room, please, I'd like to discuss to you outside. I don't need too much. I just put me on like a little $10 a month salary, because the way it's going, it'd be like this Naira, if you enter 3K to the dollar, so $10 is really enough for me per month. But it really is just interesting to see that the decisions that are being taken now are going to affect me personally and my life and the life of my family, because I do want a family. I want to get married. I want to have children. I want to raise my children in a sane environment. I want my children to grow up in an environment where they have better opportunities than I did when I was growing up. And it's not looking like Nigeria is going in that direction right now. So, if as young people, I'm really sorry, I have a very heavy bias for young people. And I say this because whatever decisions are taking now are going to affect us directly. You know, our mommies, our daddies, you know, they've enjoyed their time, and we are the ones that need to literally, as they say, take our future into our hands. And that really is why, you know, I decided to run. Like, again, also thankfully, it was also a situation where I would say right place, right time. I mean, His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, you know, came to the Labour Party, and all of a sudden, you have a party that's really looking at balancing things out in terms of having youth inclusion in their ranks, and it just, you know, it helped to, I would say, make my dream a possibility. It made it easy to attempt. And I would like to say that I'm very proud of how much we've been able to accomplish in such a short time. I mean, my political career has not even up to a year, and we've covered so much ground, and I'm very positive that, you know, it will only get better. So I just want to say thank you for your support. The fact that, you know, even without, you know, any political experience, people still have, or I don't say had, because I believe that the belief is still there. So people have a belief in me as a person is the biggest motivating factor for me in this, you know, in this, my sojourn into the political world. I also don't think politics is, or rather, I don't think it has to be overly complex. I think one of the issues that we have right now is and this is entirely my opinion, but I don't believe that we have people who genuinely care about the average person. And I don't think that their thought process going into politics is to really try and better the society. For me, the way to determine if a state, a nation, country, community, however you want to put it, is successful is really looking at the standard of living of the average person in said area. So what are the conditions that the average person, for example, in Surulere is living in? That should be the parameter that we use to determine whether or not Surulere is a popping area or not. And I think politics really should be like project management. And it's really down to execution. And when I say execution, I mean people, when I was campaigning, you know, people would ask me, okay, you know, what reforms do you wanna bring, or, you know, what bills do you wanna pass, and, you know, what do you wanna go and change? And I would think about these questions a lot. And to me, I don't even think it's more about focusing on going into start passing new bills or start talking about reforms. Because at the end of the day, on paper, obviously certain parts need to be amended, but on paper, we have existing policies that, if are executed how they should be, would be helping a lot of people. We have really amazing, talented, exposed, qualified, maybe even overly qualified, you know, individuals in serious positions that matter. And that's why I feel like qualification alone should not be the only parameters in terms of picking leaders. We need people who are genuinely good people who genuinely care about the next person, people who are willing to sacrifice their time, their resources to make sure that they leave the community better than how it is when they met it. I would like to think that I have shown over the years that I'm a very simple guy. I don't really need that much. I mean, I just need food. And I know, please, food, please. I just need food and, you know, just music. You know, just the basic things. And I've also been in a position where I would like to think that if I wanted to act different, I would be. I mean, a lot of my friends have been my friends from like my childhood. I'm here today with my friend. His name is Michael. We've been friends since we were like 1 or even before 1. Our moms were friends, and we were kind of born into the friendship. And I'm just a regular guy who just really wants to live, you know, the society better it is than I met it, because I also understand that the society that I'm in, my environment, has also given me a lot. I've gotten a lot of love, a lot of exposure, a lot of support from people that don't even know me. The only reason why I qualify as being a celebrity or a popular figure is because people have decided to love what I do and to support it. If I do a film and nobody watches, the end. It's that simple. If I record music and I release an album and only me and my mom download it, I don't think I'm going to make any money off of that project. So I'm very aware of the fact that to be here now, to even be here speaking today, is because of the love and the support that I get from my environment. So I am personally inspired and motivated to really just help as many young people as I can to just dare to dream and aspire to be in these positions that matter. And the reason why I said I wanted this to be more of a conversation is because we need to start talking. I don't think we talk. We all have different ideas and we all have different approaches to problem solving. There is no one way to solve a problem. There's multiple ways. But at the end of the day, we're all different. We come from, different ethnicities, different religious backgrounds, different economic standings. So it's important to be able to learn how to interact, how to agree to disagree, how to dialogue, sit down, and really pick what is the best way to approach problem solving. When I was campaigning, one of the things that I tried to do different was not to come and attempt to prefer solutions. So I'm not coming and saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna, build a road here and build a school and I'm gonna pass XYZ, XYZ. Because at the end of the day, those might be necessary infrastructure to put in place or to work towards. But it might not be what, the people in that particular area need in the immediate. So where I might say, oh yeah, we need to, pass a bill here to make sure that we have more funds going towards healthcare, they might really just want water first. And if we used our 4 years in office, saying, let's go and build school and this and that, and they still don't have water, to me, that's still a failed government because we haven't really met the people at the point of their needs. So that's why for me, dialogue is the biggest thing. And I'm really hoping that, today, I will be able to learn something from here as well, something that I can be inspired by, something that I can apply. And, maybe also if there's any questions that, somebody from here can learn or, be inspired to, go out and also dare to dream. I'll be extremely grateful and thankful because I believe that's what the point of, this gathering is. It's not for us to come and dress up and, give, amazing speeches and be quoting amazing figures and XYZ, and then at the end of the day, nothing really changes, especially as young people. I think we really need to start to look out for each other more. I think for the first time, if I'm not wrong, NSAS was the first time that as young people across board, regardless of where you're from, we came together and we worked towards a common goal. Now, maybe you could say there might have been one or two things that we could have done differently, but it's a start. It's a start, and it is definitely something that we can build on. And I believe that we did build on it at the last election because that was the first election that I was partaking in myself as well. A lot of my friends and I was the first election that we actually even said, okay, you know what, this voters card, we go register, we go collect them, we go watch news, we go they follow updates. Who is the person that because we've been conditioned to think that they will do what they want to do, but then who is the they? If you really think about it, who is the they? And if we say politics is dirty and we don't try to clean it up, it's going to remain dirty. And it's only right that we take advantage of the amazing, talented people that we have. I mean, if you look at Nigeria now, for the young people, almost everything that we are doing that is getting international recognition and is helping to present Nigeria in a positive light is not supported by the government. It's literally people funding these startups, funding these ideas out of pockets. So imagine what we could achieve in a more enabling environment, in an environment that really is set up to have youth inclusion and also to just encourage and support young talent. I mean, we should be doing way much more even outside of entertainment. By the way, entertainment is one of the highest employers of labor right now. just in case you did not know. Those unserious people that are doing skit up and down, yes, they are really helping to just provide job opportunities and just engage young people and keep us busy. So it's important that, again, we dialogue and we really work towards making Nigeria better for ourselves, because at the end of the day, just because of how time is set up, we are going to be in positions that matter, whether we like it or not. Like, whether we want to even care about the government process or not, in the next couple of years, it is going to be our turn. And we need to start preparing from now. It's not at that time that we want to start understanding how the government system is run, what are the issues, what do we need to do. We need to start identifying these issues now and getting to the point that we already start thinking about what possible solutions are, so that when we get to those positions, we can immediately start to, hit the ground running and really just create a better environment for ourselves and, for our families to come. Because I believe that as young people, we definitely have a more modern approach to problem solving, and the world is super, super advanced. And we are more exposed, thankful to people that travel, thanks to the internet. The world is a much smaller place. There's quicker and easier ways to exchange information now. And I think it's only right that we start to sit down and figure out how we really can use that to our advantage. Because at the end of the day, it's really important that as youths, we are a part of the government system and process, because we're doing it for ourselves at the end of the day. So thank you very much for listening to me so far. And, I look forward to some sort of dialogue. Thank you very much.
Come on, put your hands together for Honorable Oboru, a.k.a. the Fresh Prince of Lagos. How many of you know him by that name? Okay, you don't. I just told you. Okay, someone at the back. Okay, thank you so much. I mean, that was intimate for real. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that you could, come and shed your light on this crop of people. I mean, so many people are joining us from different parts of the world online. They're watching. Okay, and this is a good time for you to still take selfies, right? Take pictures, post them on all over social media. Use the hashtag Inspire to Lead Africa 2023. We want to let people know that something is going on here. Is that right? No, you don't sound it. Is that right? Now touch the next person by your side. Say, don't play. Oh, no. You're not sounding it right. Say, don't play. We're just beginning this event. You're gonna learn. But not the hard way though. All right. So to take us on the next level of this event, I'm going to bring up somebody I enjoy so much. I mean, this is a spoken word artist. Every time she puts up a content, I always savor it, because she has, something. Every time she brings up something valuable. And the video we watched earlier, the first time she ever performed on a platform was at Inspire to Lead 2022, sorry. Please put your hands together for us. Come on. And ever since then, she has been awesome, winning awards back to back to back. She's going to come up on this platform again and do what she knows how to do best. Give us value, give us content, and give us a reason to be inspired to lead Nigeria and Africa. If your hands are not too busy, please make welcome to Inspire to Lead 2023, Anita Wokoji. Please put your hands together for her.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sirs. I hope you be inspired by what I do today. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength to defend her unity and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God. So help me God, it's been 63 years of democratic slavery. Demographic study has shown Nigerians as exadeities to be Power Rangers, avengers of suffering and smiling ego better, Nigeria will be better. So help me God, the parliament, serving us premium hellfire under this firmament. So help me God, I wonder if this is truly the reward for the labors of our heroes past. So help me God, my countryman can't seem to be much happier with this paradox of a nation. This oxymoron of palaver and wahala, enjoyment and jolly irony of how we combine these two well to stay aloof is proof that my brother man is strong. We continue to subscribe to the Aberekete bundle of lies after 8 years, but we move, we smile, we pray, we fast, we chant, we sell for fame that our nation will be great. We are the comedians who tell good jokes out of life misery. They play, they pray, the motto of an average Nigerian. A nation where they give us deceptive candidate and steal our mandate and borrow us 2 cups of rice, but we rise above this hardship. My country where the government are African Grand Theft Auto, my country with free education scheme, but we still see children roaming the street. My country a class of equality with power mongers and money looters. An innovative idea from the poor, we start the daydream, a brainwash that person when no get money or connection, no forget idea. This coat of arm isn't arming. Our white horses are leaving the country, red eagles are now doxing the swine, because our leaders don't want to give us power to fly. They chop off our wings so we can't fly, we can't say nay, but nay. We never say never. For we have a mental picture, a dream that will be our reality. So we take leverage of mobile technology and harness the internet. For no white magic is going to suck dry our intellect. We, the creative creator in us, take leverage of this power. Even when PHCN no stable, we know that there is a light in us strong enough to create the right energy. No longer would we walk in this sold out darkness. No longer would we be held by impossibilities that our government has failed us. No longer will Nigeria struggle or complain. We will politically reform and economically interchange the narrative, and a revolutionary era will arise. Job opportunities that no valuable seed of Nigeria will toil in another man's land in dearth. No man will leave his father's house seeking greener pastures. The pastures in Nigeria is green, bringing fruit to heal the soul, body, mind, and spirit. Can you hear it? Can you feel it? It's the gong of hope calling, the gong of hope beating. My Nigerians, ever ready to dance in the rain, throw a fist when Falcon hit triumph on the pitch. How come we ditch our tribalistic difference when they win? It's the gong of hope calling. So rise to this call, Nigerians. We are the giant of Africa, Nigeria. We will rebuild this coat of arm, Nigeria. We will prosper, Nigeria. Nigeria's dignity will be restored. We will win and we will lead. For the super eagle in us shall arise or come by trust. Nigeria calls and we obey.
Ladies and gentlemen, creative writer.
To the remaining comrades left in Nigeria, I hope you're not planning to jackpot soon. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, so don't get tired of the slow growth of Nigeria. It's a process, and this process needs players. It needs you, it needs me, it needs us to no longer be spectators or backbenchers, but become frontliners, and let's make Nigeria win. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, creative writer, spoken word artist, poet, and of course, mental health enthusiast, Anita Wokoji, aka Purple Hat Girl. Please, a round of applause for her once again. Wow. I hope we're stirred up from the inside. It is time to arise and take our place. I mean, the theme for this event is... Wow. Lead in your field, build the nation. So can we just say that in unison? Lead in your field, build the nation. Emphatically, Lead in your field, build the nation. Anyway, from now, we're going to be having a panel session, and please, it's going to be very interactive. If you have questions, if you need enlightenment in certain areas, the theme already says it all. So we're going to be asking questions in that regard. But just before, I still see a lot of people, the face is still a bit squeezed. Lighten up. Give us a smile now. Show me your 32. Come on. I'm not owing anybody money here, am I? Is Tunji here? Thank God he's not here. Smile now. Smile for me. It's just these people that are smiling. What's happening? Are we excited to be here? Did you make a mistake coming here? I don't think so. All right, please, can we all rise? Yes, please. Can we all rise? So, initially we did that little exercise. I'm taking it a bit further now. Yes. So, it's just to engage us a bit and just to loosen up a bit, all right? So, it is called the elimination game. Sit down if you know or you can answer the questions I'm going to be asking. Okay? Sit down if I can see people on their phones. Wow, Google is your friend. Wow, Nigerians, come on. All right. Sit down if you can mention 8 national dailies. I know this front seat might. I know, but oh my goodness. 8 national dailies. I'm going to ask. I don't need to ask, but all right. Please, can you mention like 4 for me?
Tribune, Daily Times, Business Day, Punch. I think I've done like 4 already.
Oh, I said 8, so you have to be able to mention. Okay, mention 8. I said sit down if you can mention at least 8. Wow. Okay. I hear you. It's half mark, Sha. You still half mark. All right then. A lot of people are still standing. Okay. Sit down if you can mention at least 10 political parties. At least. I think about. Didn't you vote? There are more than 10. That's the thing. You give too much power to the familiar ones. You need to know the unfamiliar ones. Mention. I want to. Okay, it's group work here. Okay, let's hear. At least 10. You're standing for. Okay, at least 6. At least 6. All right, please mention 6. Now I'm not coming to you. Please mention 6.
APC, PDP, LB, AD, CPC, UNDD, NMPP.
Wow. Mom, I'm listening. Wow. I hear you. Okay. All right. I have just a few more questions here. Sit down if at least this week you ate pounded yam and egusi 3 times. What is that? I don't know. I don't understand. What is that? That's balanced diet. I said 3 times. Yeah. We are thriving. Okay, at least once this week. Wow. At least once. And egusi, I didn't say okra, I didn't say ogbono, I didn't say white soup. Pounded yam with, please let me see your phone. Did you snap it? Where's your evidence? Where is your evidence? But you ate it. I said pounded. You ate as well. Hey. Okay. I hear you all. Okay. This is a bonus answer, a bonus question. And this one, I require evidence. Sit down if you have your voter's card. If you are still standing, you are wrong. Okay, for people, with people that are saying age limits, I will still see you. Please, the ones that sat down, I need evidence, so bring it out. Come on, bring it out. I need evidence. I need evidence. You are preserving it. Please show me. It's also a form of identification, no? It's not just your driver's license that you can use as a form of identification or your ID card from your office. Your voter's card is also evidence. That's your NIMC now. Okay, wow. Still a few people standing. Evidence day, evidence day. All right then. Just like the first round. Sit down if you wore begiri yellow this week. Begiri yellow outfit. So there is yellow and then there is begiri yellow. Yeah. Nobody wore yellow this week. Okay, yellow. Sorry? Let me see. Even if you wore yellow, at least yellow. You didn't wear yellow? Oh my, I'm trying to help you. Help me too. Help me to help you. Yes, this is begiri yellow. Yes. Yes, the palm oil they use for this begiri is really nice. I'm trying to help you. Help me too. So what category should I call now that will make you sit down? Just sit down. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. All right, now. This is the moment we've been waiting for, and it's going to be our panel discussion where we just get to interact, ask questions about leadership, education, politics, entertainment, and with the array of facilitators that we have today, they will do justice to this discussion. So if the media is ready, please can we start playing their bios? Babajide Otitoju was born in the state of Zaria, Kaduna, but he began his elementary school at the Baptist High School in Ekiriade, a town in the state of Kogi, and graduated from the prestigious Ilorin University, where he studied history. Babajide Kolade Otitoju started his journalism career in 1991 as a sports writer and has over 26 years of journalism experience both in the print and broadcast media, having worked with both big and small media outfits. Babajide Kolade Otitoju is one of the most prominent and impartial political analysts we currently have in Nigeria, and he has proven himself to be at the peak of his career over the years with his ability to logically examine even the most complicated political matters. Babajide Kolade is an ever-present figure on the TVC Journalist Hangout program, where he often shares his views on burning socio-political problems, and many people really like to listen to his well-explained research. He's an avid reader who studies extensively in order to stay in contact with current affairs around the world. Babajide Otitoju is one of the best and most popular investigative journalists. He is an historian, polemicist, songwriter, a recipient of several awards to his credit for his unbiased analysis of topical issues in the country. He has won the Political Analyst of the Year, Security Analyst of the Year, and has also received recognitions, among many others, from many state governments for his contributions towards nation building using active journalism. Babajide is currently the Group Head, Current and Public Affairs of News, TVC News at TVC Communications, where his mandate is to improve news coverage and ensure the day-to-day activities of his staff goes smoothly. Under his leadership, TVC News at 10 p.m. Bulletin has been rated one of the best in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Babajide Otitoju. Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause as he makes his way up. Thank you very much, sir. Please have your seats.
Omotunde Adebowale David, popularly known as Lolo One, was a Nigerian radio presenter, but now a television presenter, comedian, filmmaker, and actress. She started her broadcasting on radio in 2004, a multi-award winning on-air personality and newsreader for Cool FM and Wazobia 95.1 FM. She studied law at the Lagos State University, after which she practiced for 3 years before switching careers, and she had always possessed a natural flair and passion for entertainment through broadcasting. She worked with Lasgidi FM as the general manager. She also worked at the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria before moving to Metro FM. She then joined Wazobia in 2008, and 2 years later, she got the opportunity to start her own program, Oga Madam Office, during which all kinds of issues are discussed, from political to bizarre. One of her most popular shows on radio was Office Palaver, where people talked about things that happened in their offices as a means to relax and relieve stress. She also hosts an annual stand-up comedy skit, Oga Madam Live on Stage, which has featured performances from artists such as Tiwa Savage and Brymo. She has won several awards for her work as a radio presenter, including the On-Air Personality of the Year Award Female at the 2016 edition of the City People Entertainment Awards. At the 6th Nigerian Broadcasters Merit Awards in 2016, she was nominated for the Outstanding Radio Program Presenter Award, Lagos Midday Lunch Hour Program. In 2014, the television comedy series Jennifer's Diaries was launched as a spin-off to the widely popular film starring Funke Akindele as a titular character. Adebowale was cast as Adaku, a bubbly and comical Igbo woman who happens to be Jennifer's partner in crime. She gained even more prominence for her comical role as Adaku in the movie series. She is a public speaker, event consultant, and celebrity compare at corporate events, wedding ceremonies, and many other occasions. Adebowale is also involved in charity work. After graduating from law school, she founded a non-governmental organization called Sisters Concern, which deals with women's issues. She is the program director for the organization. She also organizes a yearly talent show called Song Outbreak, which she uses as a means to reach out to young people and help the community. She is an epitome of a true Nigerian. As a filmmaker, she speaks on being a true Nigerian with a flair for telling our stories with local languages and the themes her new project explores. Her latest movie project is in Yoruba called Deja Vu. Deja Vu started showing on Netflix July 14 and was on #1 top 10 Nigerian movies showing on Netflix for 3 weeks or more. She also produced another movie called When Love Is Not Enough. She has other projects coming up soon. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Omotunde Adebowale David, aka Lolo One.
Thank you very much.
Omoniyi Mafikuyomi is a thoroughbred accountant who has served in several managerial capacities spanning various sectors of the economy, including manufacturing, health, non-profit organizations, haulage, insurance, and defense. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree in accounting from the Olabisi Onabanjo University. As a certified cyber security assessment and management expert, a chartered global HR analyst, a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management, and an associate member of the Society for West African Internal Audit Professionals, he leads the internal audit team at Proforce Command Center. His genuine, energetic love for the quality of education of the precious Nigerian child has empowered his consistent service for a better life for the precious child, even as an astute practicing accountant. He serves in several leadership capacities with several NGOs pro bono, which includes TCN's Educational Global AIDS Initiative, Bright Approach Club of Shagamu, Take Back Niger Movement, amongst others. Omoniyi is a licensed advocate of securing a friendly and protective environment for children with Taiwo Akinlami Academy. He conducts consultancy on strategic interventions, trainings on education, human resources, and corporate management, solutions for performance evaluations, strategy, and change reorientation sessions. He is passionate about Nigeria and is the Deputy Senate Coordinator and Director of Training and Capacity Development of the Take Back Niger Movement, Ogun State. The Shagamu Local Government Chairman and State Publicity Secretary of Ogun, Coalition for the Protection of Democracy, and is actively involved in local politics as a ward chairman. He makes his home in Shagamu, Ogun State with his pearl of value infinite, Olubukunla, and they are gifted with 3 nations. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Omoniyi Mafikuyomi.
Thank you very much, sir.
Olufumi Olaoshun is a communications manager and development professional with 9 years of experience in the non-profit sector. She has a master's degree in history and strategic studies from the University of Lagos and has certificates in social entrepreneurship from Oxford University and non-profit management for senior executives from the Lagos Business School. She has written over 150 documentary scripts used to produce videos that have aired in countries in Africa, Europe, and Asia, and bring help to vulnerable and marginalized children and families. She has been recognized as the scriptwriter of the year for 3 consecutive years by the NGO where she works. She has experience in donor relations management and fundraising, and in the past secured more than 15 million naira in funding to help the indigent. Her work has significantly contributed to the NGO where she works, reaching more than 10 million beneficiaries in 80 plus countries. Olufumi has led teams of people from diverse backgrounds and countries. In 6 months, she single-handedly built a global volunteer network from scratch to almost 2,000 members in 15 countries, spread across continents, carrying out humanitarian acts to help vulnerable communities. She is passionate about youth development and mentorship. She is currently the coordinator of the Young African Leaders Initiative, Yali Network Lagos, where she leads over 1,000 members and has executed 40 plus projects focused on community impact, leadership development, and youth empowerment. She is also the head of Yali Network Nigeria. She is a fellow of the Yali RLC program, and she is the communications director of the Yali RLC Alumni Association Nigeria, a body of over 5,000 members. She is also the country president of the African Union Youth Assembly Nigeria chapter. She has mentored young leaders in the Donors for Africa and Meta program, Teach for Nigeria Fellowship, and the Gela Foreign Mentorship Program. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Olufumi Olaoshun.
Thank you very much.
Olumide Oworu is a talented Nigerian actor, rapper, model, and politician. He's a graduate of mass communication from Babcock University. Oworu commenced his acting career at the age of 6 with the television series Everyday People. He's also known for his role of Tari in the African magic series The Johnsons. He also starred in other television series such as The Patriot, The Men in Her Life, Hammer, Stolen Waters, and New Sun. Olumide portrayed the character Wiki in MTV Base's Sugar series, season 3 and 4. He's a television presenter. Olumide has won several awards, including the Mr. Popularity Prize in the Model of Africa 2012 contest, the Nollywood Revelation of the Year Award at the Scream Awards 2014, and the Most Promising Youth Actor Award at Ping Awards 2014, the Most Promising Actor in the 2015 Best of Nollywood Awards, and Best Supporting Actor for his role in The Soldier Story in the 2016 Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Awards. He was recently recognized as one of the 100 most influential powers behind the state of statecraft. His recent movie project, The Black Book, was released on the 22nd of September 2023, and it's showing on Netflix. Olumide Owuru also ran for the position of House of Assembly member representing Surulere 1 constituency in Lagos State under the Labour Party. He sees himself as an extension of young Nigerians who still believe they can rebuild Nigeria as a country that works for all. Beyond the actor, Owuru has made it clear that he is passionate about youth-led leadership. That is why he's advocating for transparency in governance, which can be championed by the emergence of a new crop of politicians in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Olumide Owuru.
A round of applause. Thank you very much. You can see that we're so blessed, and it's such an honor to have you all sitting here today. I know, when his bio, Mr. Babajide's bio was being, read, I heard some part that he's a songwriter. Did anybody hear that? Yes. And then maybe you're going to be giving us some performance. Yes, yes? Yes, yes. We want to see that. When his bio was also, when it was being read, he's a rapper as well. He should rap for us now, right? But who said no? Yo, yo, yo. Okay. No P. All right, then. A round of applause for them once again. All right, please, just a quick reminder that if you have questions whatsoever, if you have, you need them to shed more light on this, probably I'm not even asking the question that is bothering you at the moment, kindly please put it down in a piece of paper and hand it over to my co-host. Yes, he's going to take please can you just stand so that they can see you? Yes, that is Emmanuel Efuna. Kindly hand over your paper. He's going to be walking around during the course of the panel discussion so that he can take your questions. Thank you very much. All right. So, we all know the theme. Can we remember the theme for this event? Let's chorus it together. Lead in your field, build the nation. Again. A very good place to start would have to be there. Lead in your field, leadership. Sometimes it feels so easy to answer. Sometimes it also feels it's quite vague because it's so wide. So how about we just break it down? Leadership, traits of a leader. Let's start from there. I'm going to start with Mr. Babajide. I think there's a mic.
There is not a single globally accepted definition of a leader, but a leader is someone who organizes, who guides, and brings out the best from people who work with him. So the president of a country, for example, is supposed to lead the country to attain prosperity, change the narrative radically, bring the country from grass to grace. And that is why many people who desire to be great leaders read about the success stories of world leaders that have been recognized for the successes that they attained during their times as leaders. It is impossible, in my view, for you to be a good leader if you do not have empathy. If you think just about yourself, about your family, or about your friends, you are not likely to be a good leader. A good leader must be interested in the overall well-being of the people, not just turning the people around you to billionaires and millionaires. Because what is that wealth? What is the value of that wealth if you look around you and all you see are poverty-stricken people? So leaders, good leaders must have the ability to deliver utilitarian, how do I describe it? Work for the people. Something that delivers the greatest joy, not just joy for a few people. The biggest problem we have in our country at this time is leadership. I've been talking about this for years. Somebody once cracked the joke when we were in the university that when God created Nigeria, when God created the world, he put so many mineral resources here. And other creations of God said, God, you are too biased. How come you gave Nigerians all of this? Or how come you gave Nigeria all of this? And God says, calm down. I have not given them leaders. Wait until I give them leaders. So the greatest affliction, in my view, over the years that we've suffered is poor leadership. I've said it on TV before, that there was a time when Nigerian Airways donated aircraft to Emirates in Dubai. We had more than enough. We donated to them. Today, Emirates is one of the 5 best airlines in the world. If Boeing builds a new aircraft today, or they want to build a new aircraft, Emirates will be among the airlines that would ask for the highest number of, highest units, of that new aircraft. Emirates, Ethiopia. Let me also talk about Ethiopia. This Ethiopia Airlines, they used to do their C-check here in Lagos. Where you have the Arik hangar now was where Ethiopia used to do their C-check. And you know what that means? Today, Nigerian airlines go to France and other countries to do C-check. We can't do C-check here in our own country. Whereas Ethiopia, that is one of the biggest airlines in the world, used to come to Nigeria to do it. So our country used to be great. But over the years, we have declined rapidly because the quality of leadership also declined. After independence, we were in the same class as Singapore, Brazil, Malaysia, and the rest of them. We were doing very well. And then we had the coup. After the coup, the quality of leadership began to go down. One of the biggest mistakes we made as a nation was to let that coup happen. Politicians will make mistakes. But it will have been better to let time correct those mistakes. Some of the some of the reasons for which we kill those leaders, they are so evident in our national life today, even on a greater scale. So after we killed those leaders, the country declined. And today, any sensible person talking about Nigeria and the fact that we are frustrated about how things are moving in our country should know that it is because of bad leadership. The manner in which people get recruited for leadership in our country is defective, is faulty. It has nothing to do with the qualities that you have. It's about who you know in the corridors of power. And it's so bad that our leaders continually rely on the people around them. The people around them, gripped by extreme greed, will rather focus on their own friends. Not people who can make good things happen for us as a country. I think that one of the things that we need to do is to begin to groom leaders from the cradle. In the US, for example, they organize mock parliaments. Children as young as 9 years, they begin to, familiarize them with the way parliamentarians do their work. So that's one form of preparing people for leadership. Okay. We need to begin to do that, prepare people. We cannot, and I've also said before that our young people are too apolitical. I know it's difficult to break into the big political parties, but what we've seen with the Labour Party is evidence that if our young people can see that a party has plans for them, they are going to join that party and mobilize, for election. The population, when you look at the voting demographics, young people have the capacity to determine who becomes president in our country. But increasingly, young people get outvoted by the older people. Just go on election day, look at the queue. You see a preponderance of old people. We've got to create the sort of thing that happened in South Africa some time ago, where in the municipal elections, young people supported the not so prominent parties, and the ANC was defeated in the municipal elections. Even in Mandela Bay, where some of the great heroes of the apartheid struggle were born, ANC was roundly defeated. That's to tell you the power of mobilization and the power in the hands of young people. Right. But our young people are too interested in entertainment, Yahoo, and other things. Focus on how you can take leadership from the misleaders that we have had over the years. Okay. I was forced to say it on air, but if you say it repeatedly, you could be in trouble. They will say I'm mobilizing people for riots. So let us organize ourselves. Let the young people organize themselves. After all, during the First Republic, we had ministers, people who were as young as 24, 29 years. Yeah. They were in government. But today, somebody in his mid-40s became governor, and people are calling him young. No, now. How can somebody who is almost 50 be young? He's not young anymore. Right. In the past, we had 30-year-olds, they were governors. You can see now that they don't even want young people to become governors anymore. How old was Saraki when he was governor? How old was the former Cross River governor, Donald Duke, when he was governor? How old was Saminu Turaki when he was governor of Jigawa State? They were in their early 30s, 32, 33, just something like that. These days, if you look around, can you find a governor who is 32? They don't even want young people to get close anymore. Right. And that is why you have to struggle. Take people. You've been told that it's not easy to take it. That you have to struggle, get it, and run with it. When that person said that, maybe some of us thought he was joking. I'm someone with an eye for the spoken word. When you say something, I process what you say. He's telling you the truth, oh. Grab it. Run with it.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Wow. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Money Mafikuyomi. So he calls himself, and I now know him as the occupant office of the citizen, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please, a round of applause for him. You know, when Mr. Babajide Otitoju was talking about the bad leadership and how deteriorated it is right now, our reality, some of the issues can be related to the educational system, which is also in a deplorable state. All right? So can you speak in that regard? How we can use education, to build our nation?
Okay, thank you very much. And I think first to start with, the Nigerian education system is in a mess currently. That's the truth of the matter. What we are just doing is just churning out graduates who are half-baked. That's the truth of the matter. And there is no any other place to see that than see what exactly is happening in our leadership at the moment. You see leaders who are supposed to know, who you think should know, and they exhibit different traits of character that are at variance with what you think they should know, or what you yourself know, or what you think things should be. So back to your question, how can we use education to advance things as it is now? Number one, we must know that as it is, our education system needs to be restructured. Because it seems as if what we are just going to learn is more or less what we call rote learning is what we are doing. We are not really educating people. People are not being educated. And what I mean by that is this. Let's look at, for example, what the previous question you asked about the traits of a leader. How much of leadership traits are we teaching the generation that is coming? How much of the leadership traits are our youths currently? How much of it are they demonstrating? Thank God my senior brother, Mr. Otitoju, spoke extensively about what Labour Party and the Obedient Movement were able to achieve in the last dispensation and what they did. Let's start from that. You will see the fact that what they were able to do was essentially about influence. Now, a few of them who consider themselves to be influential, we call them social media influencers. They were able to get these people together, and then 4 people tweeting from a room, just like they said, that's what they call them. 4 people tweeting from a room were able to achieve so much that shook the entire system, because essentially that's what they did. Now, that talks about influence. We need to begin to teach these things, leadership, from our school system. Teach leadership. Teach traits that will make people great leaders, not only about intelligence, not only to make them pass exams, not only how to, of course, innovation is good, creativity is good, yes, but like he said, we have come to a point where our leaders are becoming insensitive to the needs of the society. What they are presenting is not what we need for the current state of what we have. I'll give an example. If you look at it currently, at the current, as much as I don't want to speak too much about against the government in what we are talking about, but you will find out that, like my senior brother said, empathy is lacking in our decision-making processes. Our youth taught how to make decisions. Another thing you see lacking in our decisions and our policies is critical thinking. Critical thinking skills, is it involved in our education system at the moment? So these are the things that we need to look at. Essentially, our education system needs a total overhaul. And as a nation, we cannot move forward if we don't do something about our education. Because the truth of the matter is, these leaders are expiring. They are going out of fashion. And the way they are, if we continue to reproduce them, there is no way we can build a nation. And so, nation building has to start with re-education. Reorientation is part of education. How are our youth thinking? What are they thinking about? If a youth can come forward and tell you that if somebody presents a certificate that is not a certificate that is issued by the school, is not forged, what kind of youth are we talking about? Are they the kind of generation that is going to take over from these leaders that are aspiring? So education is important. I agree with you, and I think it needs a total overhaul, and we need to do a lot about it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Madam Lolo. You know, when all your profiles were being read, in my head, I'm like, God, when? And then I'm like, God, now. God, now. And we see you, we get inspired, you're influencers, you're taking your careers to the next level. And the thing for this conference is lead in your field, build the nation. And some people will be like, in my own small corner, who I feel lead? I don't have any cult following. I don't have numbers. How can I, really lead in my field and build the nation?
All right, thank you very much for that question. The very first thing I would ask anyone is, have you led yourself? Because it's impossible to give what you do not have. I ask the youth on a daily basis that, what is your discipline for you? A lot of people crave leadership, but they have not learned the tenets of leadership. Because when it comes to leading, you have to first master you. Because an undisciplined you is going to project over everything you touch. A youth that does not have a reading culture, a youth that does not have discipline of practice, as in what you do diligently on a daily basis, a youth that is not building integrity, a youth that does not understand loyalty, a youth that doesn't even understand empathy, that doesn't know what knowledge is, or does not have a network of successful people around him or her. How successful can you be as a leader? You haven't been able to gather yourself or harness your own strength. The amount of power we carry inside of us, scientists will tell you that an average human, that we're still using such a minute part of what the capacity of our brain can do. And they say geniuses that we even say are mad, they are still using just a little above. That means the capacity that we have as individuals is immense and powerful. And because we are all creating beings, many of us are so myopic that we forget that we are creators. A lot of people have become religious in their minds that they do not understand purpose. I read somewhere, God did not make tables. He made only trees. The rest of it is for you to figure out. But what I'm finding out is that the youths of today want you to feed them with a spoon the food that is right before them. They can't cook, but they know how to criticize cooking. They are not good. They know how to talk about coaching, but they have never coached. That is the kind of breed of youth. They know how to follow, but they have never led themselves. A lot of them have followed other people to their deaths because they are just so narrow-minded that once they hear a drum, they follow the drum. They do not even know, where does this drum, what does it mean? Do you know that in native Yoruba, there are some drums that is for war. When you hear the sound, even in Asian culture, when you hear some sound of drums, is for war. Imagine you come out in your dancing clothes for a war drum. That is what the youths are doing. They are noisy, but they are not knowledgeable. Because if you make, they said it's only an empty barrel that makes the loudest noise. So what do we have? A lot of youths are unemployable. I've been privileged to sit on some boards and some spaces that when you interview, you'll just be wondering that, did this person go to school? Or did school go to this person? Because I am not understanding. So when you're talking about your circle of influence, I say, everybody is from a unit. Your cell, a human is made from a collection of cells. There is nobody that will tell me they don't have a sphere of influence. You have a best friend, but that's your best friend. You guys influence each other to smoke loud, but you don't influence each other to read. And yet you say you have not been able to influence anybody. But you were able to make 6 of your friends become alcoholics. Is that not a sphere of influence? Yeah. The same way you influence that one person to start a shower walk. I see some youths on social media. My head is paining me on a daily basis. When a young girl, beautiful, intelligent, super, will come on social media and say, watch me dress up in my shower clothing. And when they call you prostitute, you are screaming. When they rape you, you are shouting. You are laying a premise for your own demise. Because you are the one that is naming yourself. Nobody called you that. But you named yourself such. A lady that can go on social media and say, in my shower clothing, you have just told everybody within your sphere of influence that I can only be associated with prostitution. So when they see you, they will call you on phone and say, babe, 2 of my friends are in town. Can you service them? And you not say, you disrespect me. How would they disrespect you? Because you are the one who named yourself. Nobody named you that. I am hoping, I believe in revolution. Revolution does not have to be bloody. But imagine if there's a revolution of minds where everybody begins to know who you are as a person. I consider myself a very influential person because my own calling is to nurture. That means I grow things. I'm a mother by calling. So that means I am very in tune with the youth. I understand you. I know what you should be doing. Many of you are shouting, you like fads. Now is a mentorship season. I see many young people saying, I want mentors, but they cannot serve. They have no understanding to carry pastor's bag. When you say, oh, take roles in your spaces of influence. I'm too big to wash car. I'm too big to arrange a hall. Are you telling me you can lead anybody? When I heard my senior colleague talking, don't you know leadership is servanthood in the real sense? You are servant of the people. You are just called because God does not like chaos. That is why people are put in leadership, so that they can be able to harness people together in groups and cells to be of, a bigger impact. I want to see youths. My daughter is in year 2 in university. Do you know when she got into university? I told her, I said, if you leave year 1 without influence, then you are not my child. She said, Mommy, what do you mean by that? I said, you have always told me that leadership, you are interested in leadership. Then this is an opportunity for you to begin to grow and build yourself. You will not believe that she listened. All I saw was a poster on my WhatsApp. My daughter was running for PRO of her department, history and international studies. And she won. And she came back home and said, Mom, I didn't know that was possible. Why won't it be possible? Because somebody is speaking in her ears and she's listening. Youths, are you listening? Are you learning? Everywhere I go, everybody is doing conversations. Everybody is having conferences. But how impactful are the conferences to your decisions, to the change of your mindset? There is no, but you don't need to have over 1 million followers on Instagram. I know people that have, at least I've seen a girl, she doesn't even have up to 20,000 followers. But on each of her posts, she gets like 7,000 likes. She gets like 1,000 conversations and engagement. That is as fair. What is your own influence? The one that you have. You know, the parable of the sower became real to me recently. I never saw it like that. Do you know that money is just a tool to achieve something? Money in itself has no value. It's the value we place on it that affects what we get from it. Everybody was given a talent. God wasn't partial. He just knows your capability. If that person that had one had used that one, he would still have profited, even if it is only one he gained additionally. But many of us, we are busy looking at an Olumide who has diverse talents. Just that single talent you have, one, you have not even developed it to a point of relevance. You want Olumide's 4 talents. Do you know what it means to be able to do all that he does? Do you know the amount of discipline Oga has to put himself to be able to make intelligent conversations? A political analyst, do you think he can just be eating eba? Half of the time, he's watching more than 3 televisions. Al Jazeera is here. CNN is here. Other day, he's comparing. How many of you have watched even NTA News? And when Uncle Otitoju is sitting, the youth of today want to be heard, but they don't have any knowledge to pass. And many of you fail in the place of heights because when they give you this kind of microphone, emptiness comes out. And when emptiness comes out, you can never get that stage again. So you better begin to harness yourself and walk within your tiny circle, because God doesn't want to disgrace you on a big stage. That's why he gave you 3 people. If you are able to influence those 3 people adequately, those 3 people can bring another 3 each. Imagine 3 people that you influence. Each of them bring 3. That's 9 people. Is that not the same spirit of this, they call it this Ponzi, that they call affiliate marketing? MMM is just a principle. When one begets another, the other one begets another, and it's a continuous chain. So youth, please lead yourself before you are aspiring to lead other people.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. Mr. Olufemi Olaosho, you are the head Yali Network Nigeria President, African Union Youth Assembly, Nigeria. And we know that we are in the digital age right now. And I just want you to help us to highlight some of the challenges and opportunities that technology would bring to nation building.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Or is it still morning? Good morning, everyone. Good morning. First, I must say it's a great honor to be here. And I'm trusting that by the time you leave here today, you will definitely have picked things practicable. But before I go to your question, I would like to address certain things that have been said so far and some of those questions that you asked, because, I mean, that's like my field. Not to be the bad guy here, but personally, I believe that the young people in Nigeria are trying. The circumstances in the country, I can tell you, I've worked across borders. I've worked in different African countries with young people from African countries. I can tell you that if some countries were to experience what the young people face in Nigeria, this country would have broken down since. I can tell you that for free. But we find that young people, in the midst of everything, they are still rising above that. They come out of schools and the jobs are not available. And somebody who was not thought to be a business person delves into business. And you see them making profit in millions. Am I correct? That is an enterprising spirit. And that is a spirit of resilience that makes young people stand out anytime they leave the shores of Nigeria. Now, but just to correct certain things, when we talk about leadership, you must first understand, I'm keeping my eyes on the time so that I don't talk too much and I need to answer your question. First thing you must understand, leadership is not a title. It's not an office. It's not position. Because I've observed anytime we talk about leadership, people's minds always go to those, the governor, the senator, the president. No. You can be a leader at any sphere. I remember when I was in university years ago, before I ran for any office, any political office, I was a leader in a sense. Why? Because when I spoke in class, people listened to me. And that comes back to what Lolos talked about. It comes back to character, it comes back to competence. I can tell you for free, as a young person, if you invest in yourself, which is what she's talking about when you talk about leading yourself, leadership is investing in yourself and impacting the world around you with that investment you have made. And I can tell you that people will see that you have invested in yourself. Now, it's not a title, it's not a position from where you are. So for example, you work in a company. Most times the mindset always is, I beg, just pay me, let me go to where I'm going to. People don't put themselves extra. Where I work, I'm not, in quote, one of the top 5 executives. But I can tell you, my executive director, if she wants to get ideas, if she wants, she'll say, ask for me, talk to for me. She sends seniors to me. Why? Because I've distinguished myself over the years by building capacity. I take on things that are beyond my payroll. It wasn't for the company, it was for me. And that's why today I'm able to deliver. There's no place in the world or in any role you put me that I will not deliver, because I have consciously invested in myself. So that is something you must begin to think about. And when we talk about leadership in the context of Nigeria, don't first think politics, because that's the mistake people make. Because not everybody here will be senators. Not everybody here will be governors. But guess what? I mean, the topic is lead in your field. In the sector you are in, you can make a difference, because we have diverse sectors. We talked about education. Some of you are probably in the education sector. You could even be a teacher. Imagine being a teacher in a primary school and you are just a teacher like everyone else. But why don't think of being a teacher with a difference and saying that irrespective of what I'm paid, I'm going to deliver my best in this field? You're someone that works in the agriculture sector. I'm just giving different examples. Think first, because the mindset is always, I notice for me, if there's anything that I see is a challenge, is this mindset of what's in it for me. Trust me, if you want to stand out apart from the crowd, you must kill that mindset. Think first of impact. How do I make myself relevant in this field I am in? You are a programmer. Can you think of being the best programmer? Let's even start with your states. Best programmer in your state. Then you expand, best programmer in Nigeria. Then you expand, best programmer in the world. Is it possible? Yes. It's about investing. Character. You invest in who you are as a person. What are those abilities inside you that you can bring out? Nobody seated here is the same. As much as some of you may look like each other slightly, the content inside is what differs. And if you don't refine that content, you will not be able to put it out there in the world. So you must build that character. Then you build competence. As a student, when I was in university, one of the things I said, I had a voice. Why? I was the best student. If you talked about top 3, I was top 3 from year 1 to year 5. Every lecturer knew me. And I remember when it was time in 300 level to run for elections, I was unanimously voted vice president. By final year, they were going to unanimously make me president again, like unopposed. I'm a female, and I'm saying this because there's some people here, oh, I'm a female, nobody wants it. Well, because you haven't invested in yourself. Yes, I know in my years of leadership, I can tell now why a lot of ladies don't step forward into leadership roles. I can really understand. But you see, it is something you must step into if you really want to make a difference. So I just thought to put that out there before I get to the question. Now to the question of technology. The interesting thing about it is I feel that technology even makes it a whole lot easier. Number one, you have access to resources. These days, I get very upset, forgive me, when I see an educated young person that cannot speak or write well. And by speaking, I don't mean phone. And by writing, I don't mean writing grammar. You can't put together a sentence. And you graduated from the university. Come back, and I know someone say, my university did not teach me well. The lecturers, oh, really? But you have a smartphone. You have the internet. Right where you are, you can take courses from Harvard University without getting into Harvard University because the resources are available. But many young people don't think about that. And the beautiful thing about it is even with that technology, it gives you that access to refine your leadership capacity, because from right where you are in Nigeria, you're able to connect with other people in the world. I mean, one of the things that was said in my bio that I raised a global volunteer network, that's part of building capacity. I remember my executive director came and said she wants to build a volunteer organization network for the organization. And I'm looking at her. She said, you are going to handle it. I'll say, okay, where's staff members, uncle? You will do it by yourself. Anybody would have chickened out. But Olufumi, I've never been one to chicken out. You can't, there's nothing you will give me and I'll say, I cannot do it. If I don't know it, the first place I go to first is Google, technology. I go and research and study, okay, what do I need to do? Then I start extending, because the world has, when they say the world is now a global village, it's literally, it's true. And she gave me that assignment, I remember January 2019. And I first thought, what is this? And I remember in the office, you know, office shenanigans can be very funny. All the seniors were upset, like, why would she give it to her to handle? Why not one of us, you know? And they were trying to be dramatic. I ignored all of that. Utilized technology. And I started talking to people, strangers. I would just enter DMs, just send messages to people in different countries. And ladies and gentlemen, in 6 months, I was able to recruit almost 2,000 volunteers in 33 countries. I had people carry out humanitarian projects in the UK, in Canada. There was even a country that I did not even know existed until I started this project. Guyana is in Southern America. I got volunteers there. By them, once I give them the direction, like, okay, this is what we're doing this month. This is the direction. This is what I want you to do. They go with their funds. I didn't send them a dime. And by the time I was done, I had built that structure, set it up, and I was able to hand it over. So my point is, there are more than enough resources. Yes, Nigeria is challenging. I would not deny that. It is a tough environment. But the beautiful thing about it is easier now for you as a young person to stand out. That's the very beautiful part. It is because why? Too many people are not very interested in standing out. More people are interested in blowing. You know, I want to blow. You want to blow on social media. And just essentially, social media influence doesn't always translate to real life influence. That's a mistake a lot of people make. You can have millions of followers, but nobody hears you. It's one thing to have followers. It's one thing to have a voice that people hear. That when you speak, they will listen and do as you have said. That's the true influence. So with technology, it makes it a whole lot easier. You can build your capacity. You can expand your influence beyond borders. And you can really even begin to invest in other people, because that's critical. But the first point, and I'm going back to what Lolo said, is investing in yourself. Building yourself, building your capacity, building your competence, such that in any field at all that you're in, you are able to handle yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so just because Honorable Olumide Owuru has other engagements today, I'll just try and lob in some of the questions we want him to answer. I mean, you're a leader and you've been able to establish that in different roles, different spheres. Can you just share with us? Because, I mean, people can see you as a superhuman, but then you can't be human and you can fail sometimes. Just share with us, you know, some of the challenges you faced, the failures that people might not see out there, and how you've just been able to come out of that.
All right, so thank you very much for that question. Before I answer, I just wanted to check if my people are here. Do I have any young people in the house? If you're a young person in the house, let's say yeah. If you believe that Nigeria can be better with the efforts that we are going to put in from now moving forward, say it's plenty. Thank you very much. So to be very honest, you see this, you know, first, I mean, I'm learning. No, I don't know about you, but me, I'm taking in so much from being here. But it is okay to fail, right? I think a lot of us put too much pressure on ourselves to not make mistakes. One of the easiest ways to learn, one of the quickest ways to learn is from mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, it's going to be super, super hard to learn. Also, it's also important to put in the effort. How bad do you want it? I'll give you an example. Every day this week, I've filmed overnight. So yesterday, I started filming at 9 a.m. and I filmed up until 5 a.m. this morning. Haven't really slept because I had to be here. And my call time on set today is 11 o'clock, so I'm literally going right back to set. So literally, I'm going to have been awake by today. I'm going to film till tomorrow morning as well. So I'm basically going to be filming 2 days straight with no sleep. But at the end of the day,
It's what I want to do because nobody sent me message. So it's how bad, it's how bad do you want it? We can, as young people, we can sit down and we can dream and we can discuss and dialogue and hope and all that. But at the end of the day, nobody's going to come and give it to you. You can complain about your situation. Nobody's going to come and help you if you don't first help yourself. One of the things that I struggle with the most is imposter syndrome. I downplay a lot of the things that I have achieved because I always believe that I don't want to settle. One of my biggest fears in life is really not reaching the maximum level of my capacity. And in striving for that, standard, I have put a lot of pressure on myself to the point that there have been times where I have made certain mistakes. I have overworked myself to the point of, getting sick. I have prioritized certain aspects of my life over others. So sometimes I focus so much on work and school that I forget even relationships with family, because I believe that family is the most important unit in society. So even just spending time with my mom, interacting with my mom, taking care of my mom, I have found myself forgetting to do that because I am chasing this goal, this dream, this thing that I've said that if I don't do this thing by 30 is a problem. And another thing I used to do, I used to give myself timelines as well. So, okay, I need to do this by 24. I need to do this by 27. If I have not done this, if I never buy Benz by this age, there's a problem. Still have not bought the Benz, by the way. But I don't think I'm doing bad for myself. So I think at the end of the day, it's important to learn. It's important to ask questions. That's one of the things that has worked for me the most. I don't pretend to know it all. I think it's also about maximizing opportunities as well. There most likely are even more talented actors than me in my age bracket that will never break into the industry. Not because the opportunities are not there, but because hard work will beat talent any day. It doesn't matter how talented you are. If I just sit down and say, okay, fine boy, they'll come and call me for run and make I just day my yard, I'm not gonna eat that yet. Because nobody's gonna come to my house and knock on my door and give me employment. I mean, maybe I might be lucky. How they have all these game shows, or I might be lucky and they'll select my house address. But that's like a 1 in how many million chance. At the end of the day, there's so many talented people that are doing the same thing I'm doing, and the only difference between me and them is how much time I put, as has been mentioned, in investing in myself. And it is okay to make mistakes. I've gone for countless auditions that they will tell me, I will get back to you, and the phone call never came. If I was basing my success rates on those phone calls coming in, I'd have given up by now. But at the end of the day is, how bad do you want it? How much are you willing to sacrifice? I've never had a holiday in my life. I haven't been able to travel. I miss family events, my birthdays, weddings, parties, things I would like to do. I miss because I have other engagements or commitments that I think are more important. So it is also important as well to really just figure out what your priorities are and understand that it's really not about how many times you make a mistake. I mean, I ran for an election, I didn't win. Does that mean I pack up ship and say, this politics thing I'm not doing again? No, I don't think that's how it should work. I've learned more than I would have known if I did not try out in politics. So at the end of the day, if you don't make the move to learn something, you will probably never get as much information as you can on said issue or said topic. So, I mean, I've made mistakes in school. I've at some point I had to change some of the people that I was hanging out with because I realized that certain habits or certain traits I was picking up from them are not things that I wanted for myself. So it's just important to really just be honest with yourself as well and be able to tell yourself the hard truths. Sometimes the people are also chasing things that are not for them. You need to figure out what your strengths are and really chase that and focus on that. And it's okay to make mistakes in and around that space, but as long as you're true to yourself and you maximize opportunities that you have and you do things creatively, because again, the world the population this year is not the population 5 years ago. It's not the population 10 years ago. So as we're speaking now, I'm sure in some hospitals now, there's some babies that are just joining us in this Nigerian struggle that we are in right now. So you have to find creative ways to really just make things happen for yourself at the same time.
Thank you so much for that. Really, really do appreciate. You know, when you were speaking, you made mention of you having to cut off friends that you were probably not gaining things from, or they were not imbibing the qualities you want. How then, because this might sound like an irony, a lot of people just want to walk it alone. Let's talk about partnerships, relationships, healthy relationships to becoming a leader.
Right. So a lot of my friends now that are doing amazing for themselves in different fields. As I went in for example, in secondary school, we had no idea what we wanted to do. I mean, you talk about it. Oh yeah, I want to be big. I want to be successful. But nobody really has like a clear idea or a clear-cut path towards, said goal. So I definitely believe in the power of association. So in school, I'm smart. I know I'm smart, but you see that school thing, I can't lie. It's stress. I remember when I go into secondary school, I really just was very content with just being an average student on paper. So what that means is I really wasn't bothered if I was getting an A, a B, or a C. If I get all C's, I will not repeat. I will not do the subject again. I'll be, give me C6, let me go. That really was my energy. But then when I got into senior school, I wanted something different for myself. So I said, okay, do you know what? I looked around me in class and I looked at all the people that I thought were smarter than me. And I said, these guys are going to be my friends now. And I made a conscious effort, befriending the people that were going to the library and all that. So I noticed that days where normally after school, I want to play ball and, go and sleep. They'll come and wake me up. Let's go to the library. I'm like, bro, I don't want to go. I'll give 50 million excuses. They're like, let's go to the library. I'm like, I want to sleep. Okay, do you know what? Come to the library. You sleep in the library. So, okay, now it sounds like a fair deal. There's AC in the library. Let's go. And what I realized is, after the first couple times going to the library, I just realized that everybody in the library was reading something, and it just felt weird for me to not be learning. So first day, I didn't go to any of the serious sections. You know how in the library there's sections? So I went to the encyclopedia section first. Let's leave the serious thing. And I opened that, and I just realized that I started enjoying just all the random information I was getting. And from then, it would be a thing of, okay, we're going to do assignments in the library. So now I'm doing my assignments on time. If I don't have anything, if it's something I don't understand, rather, I can ask a question, they'll put me through. And the very first term that I started this habit, I went from being an average student to being first 5 in my class. The very first term. And that literally lasted up until I finished secondary school. And even in uni as well, like, I would like to think that I was in the upper part of my class because I was doing a lot. I've always been juggling, and I did not fail a single course at any point. There was no carryover in university, and I'm very proud of that because the amount of hours that I also have to put into entertainment, because entertainment and academics are two very selfish fields. They want to take all your time. So to be able to just maneuver that, is something that I'm also very proud of, and I was able to do that because of the people around me. I have never been the smartest person in any friendship, well, not in any, of recent, when I started to give myself brain. I was never the smartest person in friendship groups. Right now, I have a group of friends, and they're all family men, 50 plus. And we hang out, and it's like 10, 12 of them, and just me. I'm clearly the youngest. And I learned so much from just being around these men because they've done way more than me. They've achieved way more. And one time, one of them was talking to me, and he was like, Olumide, the problem with your generation is you and your friends want to live like me and my friends, but you want to do it now, at your age. He's like, I'm in my early 50s. I'm not a rich man, even though he is, but he said, I'm not a rich man, but there's nothing I want in life that I do not have access to or that I cannot get because of the resources around me. But it was not always like that. So he said, you right now are 28. You have a car. I didn't even have a car at 28. So technically, if you're looking at trajectories, you're doing better than I was when I was your age. So just keep doing what you're doing, be patient, and I guarantee that, in the next couple of years, things will start to work out. And he also said something to me that stuck. He said, the most important thing that you have as a person is your name. Because even if you feel like you don't have access to money, there will always be people with a lot of money looking to invest in ideas. And they want to put these monies in the hands of people that they can trust. What is the parameter to figure out whether or not you are somebody that we can trust? It's character, integrity, is your name. So he said, focus on making sure that your name is your biggest asset. And I guarantee you that everything else will come with that. So all these things I'm picking up by just the people that I surround myself with, the content that I expose myself to. On occasion, I might, read a book here and there, even though I'll sleep off. But I mean, we'll continue. I might read one book 6 months, but I finished it. That's +1 to my library. So at the end of the day, it's really just important as young people to really just be very cautious about what we allow into our personal spaces. You really have to be aware of your personal space, and it's okay to have barriers. It's okay to have lines that people cannot cross, or certain things that you have made up your mind that you will not do or compromise on. But then again, as was mentioned here, that can only happen if you know yourself and what you want for yourself. So at the end of the day, I think it's really just being aware and just asking questions and making sure that you surround yourself with people that will make you better, people that will encourage you, people that will inspire you. All my friends inspire me because they're all doing amazing things. And that just, it's almost like we're competing, but it's not a competition per se, but you want to do things, as we say, to bust your guy's head. Like you want to do something that your friends will be proud of you. And what that does is it creates an ecosystem where everybody just trying to outdo each other and level up. But it's positive energy. It's like it's competitive, but it's a good type of competition. And it's a thing where you're also aware that it is okay and it's necessary to also help out the people that you might be doing better than in your friendship groups. But then again, as they say, show me your friend, I'll tell you who you are, birds of a feather flock together. These things actually make sense, because if you surround yourself with positive energy, positive things will happen. If you think positive thoughts towards yourself, positive things will happen. So it's really just important to be aware of how much we let in, and it's really important to also identify how bad you want it and going out of your way to make it happen.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And just before we let you go finally, I don't know if you have any words of just to inspire the people. I mean, it's Inspired to Lead conference, by the way. So just before we let you go.
I would say whatever you can think of is possible. Whatever you want to do is possible. As the theme of this event is, it says, lead in your field. So it doesn't matter whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter how small you think it is what is the impact that you're having? What is the scale of your influences? The same way somebody can get you to, say, skip class. Why can't you be the one to inspire everybody to, okay, let's start a business? Guys, let's not go out today and spend 500 million to buy a bottle of alcohol in the club. Let's pull those resources together and start a business. It might fail, but look at it this way. If you went out and you bought alcohol, after that day, it is gone. You're not getting that money back. But you put that money into a business, chances are, plus or minus, you might get something out of that in return. But then again, you're giving yourself the option of the possibility of making progress and making gains. So I would just say, as a young person, it's super important to dream, super important to believe. But at the end of the day, it really just comes down to hard work. I don't think there's any other way to sugarcoat it. It's really just down to hard work. That's the difference between people that want to do something and people that actually do it, is the action involved. That takes you from point A to point B. So by all means, let's keep talking. Let's keep inspiring each other. Let us try to be the best version of ourselves, because that will just translate to everything else. And also, I personally believe that the family unit is the most important, aspect of society. And a lot of us have become complacent when it comes to, like Nigeria, things political, because of what we've heard from the house. Because all we hear around us is, okay, they'll do what they want to do. Politics is dirty, Nigeria, and all of that. So at the end of the day, we are going to have families at some point. What are the traits that we are going to be imbibing in our own children? I just want to give a quick example. Like, let's use like Moses in the Bible, for example. He did all those amazing things and he didn't even enter the promised land. After everything that he did not enter the promised land. Which means that whatever activities we're starting now might not even be for us. The Nigeria that we're clamoring for and we're doing all these things for might not even be for us, but somebody has to get the ball rolling for us to get to the point where we need to get to. A journey of 40 days took 40 years because certain people made certain decisions. So the decisions that we make affect the timeline of the change that we want. The change will happen, for sure, but we don't know the timeline. So the best we can do is do everything we can in our own, corner, in our own power to make sure that we are the best version of ourselves and really just put that into the world, into the atmosphere, and just let life kind of do its thing. But somebody has to get the ball rolling. And I genuinely believe that our generation is very capable of being the generation that is the catalyst for the change that we want in Nigeria. But we also have to band together for that to be a possibility. And we also have to hold ourselves accountable, because I think that's one of the things that we don't really do. We don't really hold ourselves accountable. And I don't mean just politically alone, just down to just personal things. I mean, if you're out, you see, at a party, yeah, because I like to go out and have fun. I don't know about you guys, so I think that's why a lot of my examples might be party related, because we're young. This is the age that we go out and we socialize. You're somewhere and you see something that doesn't sit right with you. Do you speak out on it? Yeah. You're a guy. You see one of your friends talking to a girl and she's like, "Oh, leave me alone," and he's harassing her or whatever. Do you let that slide? It's not just about focusing on just politics alone. We need to have a total overhaul of our approach to life. And we need to just hold ourselves accountable. And I genuinely believe that if we become the best version of ourselves, we become better people, it will be easier for our light to shine, and one candle will light the next and light the next. And at the end of the day, we will be able to remove as much darkness as we can. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you so much. Please, a round of applause for our honorable. Thank you so much. We can release you now.
Thank you very much, guys. I had such an amazing time. Thank you so much. I'm very honored to even be able to sit up here with every other amazing person that is on this stage. And thank you so much for listening to me as well. I know I've learned something today for sure. I will definitely be taking a lot of this information and passing it on to all my other friends. And at the end of the day, I'm very positive that, again, this generation is the one that's going to shake things up. We've already shown them small. And that was in the shortest possible time. So imagine what else we can do moving forward. So, guys, keep on believing. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, politician, actor, Honorable Olumide Owuru. Thank you so much. I think this is also a right time to let you in on our social media platforms to please follow us. I think we should take a picture. Yes, please. Yes, let's just take the picture. All right, please follow our social media platforms. On Instagram, ylab_hub. YouTube is ylab hub TV. And on Facebook, it is ylab hub. All the content being recorded here will be posted on our social media pages. Please, if the questions are coming, we're about to wrap things up. And of course, let our panelists, go this morning. But then again, my next question is for Mr. Babajide. Jakpa, I'm sure, is anybody going to Canada next week? Because if we are to have a repeat of this conference next week, it's like half of the people, they're already at the airport. And it's a conversation we need to have. We are losing, as a nation, we're losing manpower, we're losing human resource, because people are seeing the prospects of traveling to other countries because it is greener. And the people there are pulling their people over there. So, I mean, how do we address this issue in such a way that we don't lose the best of us? And then again, not also hinder people from global opportunities? think everyone will have to speak on this Jackpot syndrome.
Okay. Economic migration is not simply a Nigerian affair.
Yeah.
Many Americans are relocating to China to work in China. They are learning the Chinese language so that they can work in China. But our economic problems, the social problems that our people face, I've ensured that more and more people do not see a future here. And they believe that the grass is greener over there. A friend of mine who used to work with Zenith Bank told me that in Manitoba in Canada, that they have enough people for the management of Zenith Bank to actually start a branch. So many of their staff have left in the last 4 or 5 years. So many. They started a WhatsApp group, made up of ex-Zenith Bank staff. And it's not just Zenith Bank. Staff of other banks too. A good number of them are leaving. I had a cousin who was working with MTN. His salary was above 2 million. Yet he relocated his family out of here. After a while, he joined them. So for some people, it's not even the salary. The salary is not the trigger for moving out of the country. They just don't see a future here anymore. Okay. The insecurity is also a factor. Right. There was a wedding that we attended in Ibadan, and my cousin was telling me that she had refused to travel out of Lagos for 3 years. That even though she was working with Sterling Bank, she has also traveled now. She said that before they agreed to travel for that wedding, they had to get enough soldiers to lead them just from here to Ibadan and back. So that is why, look, whichever way we look at it, we need the country to be better run. We can't run away from it. There was a time when things were so bad in Ghana. They came to Nigeria to work. I remember growing up, Ghanaians were the ones shining our shoes and all that. When Jerry Rawlings came into power and things improved, what did he do when he got into power? He lined up the last 4 rulers and had them executed by firing squad. And they were criticizing one another. This one will say, oh, Shebi, when you took over from me, you said you do it better. The other one will say, oh, you too, did you do it better? Let's just stop arguing, because the bullets will soon serve justice to us. You know? That was in, I think, 1979 or so. Because it happened just before Obasanjo handed over to Shagari. Many Nigerians and many people not really conversant with the history of that period will say, oh, Obasanjo set a record as the first African leader to willingly hand over to civilian. It's not true. Jerry Rawlings actually handed over before him. I know that. So, Ghana, things improved in Ghana. We no longer see Ghanaians shining our shoes. It may not make sense to people probably as not as old as I am, but I was in the Ilorin at that time. I knew that Ghanaians were the prostitutes in our brothels. Ghanaians were the ones shining our shoes. Ghanaians were the ones picking garbage from our homes to go and deposit them elsewhere. So I believe that when things begin, if we have like 3 cycles of the general election, producing the right leadership. The right leadership will impact our country in a good way across all spheres. That will build confidence in people. The patriotism that appears to have departed the hearts of many of our people will return. They will then begin to think that, okay, our country is on the right path. Let me play my part. Some of those who left will come back. We've seen that happen. Some of those who have left the country, those who jackpot, they will come back because look, there is no better place to live in than Nigeria. A friend of mine who is in Canada today came home and they were just relaxing somewhere in Ogba, and he said, this is the only country where we can sit like this and simply be chatting and having drinks. That over there, if I'm drinking, it's usually just me drinking. So it's a beautiful place to be. When you are outside Nigeria, there is a strong pull that you feel like coming back. But it's just the leadership that has made so many people dispirited, so many people have given up. We have to fix leadership in our country. I agree that at our levels we are all leaders, but we need that person, that iconic leader that will galvanize everyone the same way that Lim Kee Yew did in Singapore. This is the time when we need that kind of leader. Look at the change that it caused to happen. People talk about Rwanda. Nigerian politicians went to Rwanda the other day for a retreat. This was a country, remember what happened to Rwanda? Our politicians went to Rwanda for a retreat the other day. That in itself should make us weep for our country. Countries that Nigeria helped. Look at the frontline nations of Southern Africa. Some of their leaders came here. They came to Nigeria. They were even schooled here. Nigeria sheltered them. I remember even the former president of South Africa. No, the one is it Mbeki or Thabo Mbeki. Thabo Mbeki was in Nigeria for years. Some of these leaders, we took good care of those African leaders. Today, everyone appears to have left Nigeria behind. And when you even go to some of the African countries, you see even from the airport, you know that your own country has taken several steps backwards. We can't stop talking about the leadership question. The fact that we do not have the right module to recruit the right leaders for our country. And they continue to pull us back. Nobody wants to stay here. It's a problem. It's a big problem. I was discussing with the VC of Ylad. He said in 1 week, 7 lecturers decided to leave. That's dangerous.
That's disastrous.
And where are they going? They are not. It's not in Nigeria that they are leaving. Everyone wants to live here as if this is a place where if you stay here for 1 week, you get killed. So we need our elections. We need our elections to have integrity. When our elections have integrity, the right leaders will emerge. Leaders who will fear the people and know that they have to work for the people. The way things are now, people can win elections whether we like it or not. I hear people say, you can only win where you are popular. It's a lie. I've seen people win elections where they were not popular. That is a fact. So, if our elections have integrity and we produce the right leaders, those leaders know that if they don't work for the people, by the next election they will be kicked into touch. So they will be forced to work for the people. That way our country will continue to grow. We are not the only country where people are jackpotting, but our own has reached an alarming rate.
Facts.
And it can't continue like this because we will begin to see. You are talking about education. If education it's not about building the most beautiful
Structures.
It's about the quality of instruction.
Mm.
And if you don't have people can deliver the right quality of instruction, what do you have? Those lecturers are leaving.
Right.
We've got to do something about it.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes. I'm sure people you know, most of them have left the country.
Honestly, if I tell you amongst my circle of friends, I'm one of the ones that feels as if I'm the only one here. But we need to know that no matter who we are is who we are. Trust me. A lizard in Nigeria cannot suddenly become an alligator anywhere else. But do you know the fantastic things about Nigeria is that our talents have been honed in the hall of affliction. That there is hardly anywhere you see Nigerians that they don't thrive. We are actually people that know how to influence. I have fair friends now that in their immediate communities in Canada, Nigerians are already excelling. I was in the US for a couple of months last year. Do you know that in Houston, at least I was so proud that I didn't do a research, but just from sight, I think I see like 20% increase in Nigerian-owned businesses. As in, every shopping mall, you will see at least 2 shops that are owned by Nigerians, selling Ankara, selling food. Even as far away as San Antonio. San Antonio is at like the border of America into Mexico or one of those countries. And Nigerians are thriving anywhere. But whether we like it or not, I know it's a painful reality, but you know everybody cannot leave this country. Whether we like it or not. I know many people might have a desire to go, and it is now making, what I'm beginning to see is depression. Those that cannot afford to go are so unhappy that it's beginning to affect every other thing that they do. They hate their life. They hate their job. Some of them are even disliking their families. That if I was born into a better affluent family, maybe I would not have been caught in this rut. But do you know that the future we are all desiring for tomorrow, we can only lay the seed now. Dubai was a country that had nothing. When I went to Dubai for a holiday, they would proudly tell you in their buses and their tour, as you take a tour around, how they had nothing. And the group of Emirate countries came together and they had a vision. See, even Bible, that's all I know. That's why I make reference. It says, have a vision, make it plain, write it down, so that those that come can run with it. Where is the blueprint of this nation? Who do us? Exactly, because we cannot act in isolation. When I was listening to the beautiful Lufumi, if you ask her, she knows process. All those things she told you she did. She didn't just wake up and it's by her nails that she did in salon. She sat on her computer for hours, developing strategies, writing down things she needs to do, how to do it, when to do it, with whom to do it, answering hard questions. Youths, if you are going to take over, we need you guys to be forthright and come out and take a stand. If this leadership they are all complaining about, if we are still winning election on social media, we are not ready. When I went to the last elections, I'm sure some of you saw my videos. I live in Aja. So you can imagine my own polling unit was in Aja Market. I fearfully went there for governorship election. When the thing broke, it became chaotic. I ran from Aja to my house. My PA, all of us, we met at home. I had to run because I'm the visible ones. The area boys know me by name. So if they're going to hurt anybody, I'm a prime target. But do you know that discouraged me for presidential? Because I cannot kill myself. Nigeria will continue. Whether we like it or not, people will continue to migrate out of the country. But let me shock you. Inflation is everywhere around the world, just in different and varying degrees. So don't let anybody tell you it's easy for them in UK. I have friends in UK. It's only, after school, there are so many other stringent things you have to meet to be able to stay. So many of them are just believing God to be able to meet some of these criteria. And trust me, not all their jobs are filing for them. And you know that another thing about Nigeria is that we import our bad habits also. Anywhere Nigerians go, as much as we're good in some areas, trust me, our bad is bad. Do you know I met a Chinese person in one of my sojourns, and he told me, he said, Nigeria people taught me bribe. It's easy in Nigeria. That means they mean that in this country, he said it's easier for him to do bad practice here. We have no standard. Do you know some standard? If you see products from China for Nigeria and the same product from China to America, the standards are different. They know in this country they can go through the corners. They can, and as long as we're fueling this system, in fact, I was in a forum recently, very sad, honestly. I'm talking about a prominent woman. She has a great idea. A company came into Nigeria to bring a big recycling hub into the country. I mean, something that is so mega. I'm not talking on a small, it wasn't a small playing field. Do you know this country went back to Ukraine because of the bureaucracies of government and the askings? The askings from them was too much. They couldn't even say if they are bringing a company that will help us, employ people, increase capacity, help out, so many things. They went back to Ukraine. Do you know the country, I'm not talking about it, as in it's a big thing. Do you know they are now liaising with one company in Abeokuta? Because the government that is supposed to create an enabling environment, for them to be able to make it large, is asking for bribes and corrupt practices. We are losing. Our doctors are going. Do you know how many incompetent doctors that are in hospitals now? All their professors have gone. So many of them are not being adequate. As my colleague was talking about education, they are looking for better opportunities abroad. Do you know how many entertainers no longer live in Nigeria? They just come here to work and go back. And the speed at which ritual killings have started to happen amongst the youth is still part of the rot of this country. Because our conscience is dying. Everybody just wants to get ahead at all costs. And at all costs means that the foundation is still being destroyed. The foundation is still being destroyed. I know some of these things are out of our hands. But do you know what I always tell myself when I wake up? I said, there's a reason why I'm in Nigeria. There's a reason why I am here. Let me shock you. Even as other people are jackpying, do you know some of us are still going to make mega millions in Nigeria? Let me shock you. You can't live the kind of, Nigerians are ballers. It's the way God made us. Do you know you can't ball like that, America? If you ball anyhow, balling, IRS will come and research you. But in Nigeria, I can have my party and do as I like and enjoy the money. Many of those people still want to come to Nigeria to spend their money. It's only nice when you're a Nigerian earning dollars, earning pounds. But trust me, if you are spending pounds, earning pounds, it's still not easy. If you are earning dollars, spending dollars. I spent dollars in America, and I can tell you that it wasn't easy because changing naira to dollar is harder. So don't let us be disillusioned, or don't spend your days in sadness and sorrow. Whatever the situation is, are we not better than Israel right now and Palestine? They are in a war situation. Shebi, our problem is hunger. Their problem is existence. They don't even know if they will be alive by tomorrow to even go on the internet. Shebi, If they're bombing people, do you think all their telecoms will not go down? That means communication will go down, everything. That means we are still better off. I'm not telling you it's easier, but if we are hopeless completely, trust me, the chaos that we think we are seeing will be doubled. So whatever hardship that we think we're going through as a nation, we have to hold ourselves strong internally. You have to continue to give yourself hope, even where you think there is no hope. Trust me, Fumi will tell you, because she rolls in more of those circles. Nigerians are still getting fantastic grants internationally for startups, even as decadent as this country is. That means no matter how bad, those that will thrive, and we have to be one of them.
Okay, Jackpot syndrome. Let me say that not every open door is meant for you to enter through. If you enter through, you may get your hand burnt eventually. While I won't discourage anybody from not jackpotting, the truth of the matter is, like my sister has said here, you can thrive in this country. You can do well in this country. But the truth is, please permit me to stand up. I think, am I allowed? Because I think I need, this is passionate for me. It's what I do. Oworu just spoke about the fact that process is important in everything in life. As youths, we are too much in a hurry to ball. We are too much in a hurry to arrive. But process, if anything that is not process, like John Maxwell said, he said, leadership happens every day. It doesn't happen in a day. Whatever it is you want to achieve in life, it takes process. It takes time. But with the youths, I count myself as a youth anyway. You may not agree with me, but I'm a youth. With the youth, we are too much in a hurry. We want to get this thing done. Now. It must be now and now. But it doesn't work that way. Anything that will be good doesn't come easy. It happens in life. It cuts across everything in life. And like my uncle said, a lot of us are frustrated, are discouraged with the system. We are discouraged with everything about Nigeria, especially with the Supreme Court judgment. A lot of us are just, any opportunity now, let me just get out of this country. But I'm going to appeal that, please. I've been in advocacy for a couple of years now, and I know what it means to give all that you have for a cause, and eventually it goes down the drain, or it doesn't work out the way you want it to work. And I'm just appealing to us as youths, please. And using this forum to appeal to us, every youth, wherever you are, there is still hope for this country. Hope is not lost. We have only lost an election. We have not lost the race. Let's bootstrap again. Let's do what we need to do as youth. Let's stand up for what we believe in, and let's believe also in this country. Because Nigeria can be great, and Nigeria will be great with our effort if we don't give up. So please, if you feel persuaded to japa, nobody is saying you should not japa, but think about it properly. Like Lolo has said, there are people who are out there who are not finding it easy at all. I was discussing with a friend who has been in the UK for quite a number of time, and he told me that, look, Omo, if you are coming to the UK, make sure you don't sell any of your estates or landed property. If you want to borrow, but don't sell any of your assets at all. He has the reason for saying it. This is somebody who has been in the UK for the last 20 years. So, what am I saying in essence? I'm telling you that, look, things will still work in this country. Things will still be better in this country. A friend of mine was saying, he said, everybody is just going and just going and just going. He said, but I'm happy they are going because they are making space for us who are here. This country will still meet your dream. This country will still be great. we will still get up onto it. But like my uncle said, that look, there's a lot of things we need to do. And part of it is this, our leadership selection process. We must just get it right with our leadership selection, because everything rises and falls on leadership. And we as youth have a role to play in this thing. We can't just afford to be passive anymore. The last election has taught us that, look, our votes count. Yes, it may not have achieved what we want, but it counts. And if we keep on pressing their neck, we will get it one day. And the change that we so much look forward to, the country that we look so much look forward to, we will achieve it very soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, I think I would like to also touch on something that I feel is a major challenge. Herd mentality. HERD. Crowd mentality. How many of you remember when Hilda Baci won the Guinness World Record? What did we start doing? Seeing everybody wanted to cook. And that is a mistake that too many people make. And I can tell you for free, that is why a number of people are jackbuying. Now, if you are jackbuying to say you want to improve yourself, for example, you want to go to school, because whether we like it or not, the level of education is better, and you want to improve yourself, by all means, go better yourself. If you say, okay, you want to go and maybe improve yourself financially, because you're probably comparing, like I think Lola said, if you are earning in pounds and spending in pounds, trust me, it's not the same. But we think it's a big deal because you are converting. You know, some of them that jackpot, the mistake they make when they first travel, when they land in a country, they tell them, oh, this is 50 pounds. They start converting to Nigerian. I know, yeah, what's wrong with you? You are in this country, face here. You see, so that herd mentality is where we have a problem. So if you're traveling, personally, I would say, if you're going to better yourself, if you're going to learn, improve your skills, and come back, because, I mean, again, back to the theme, you need to lead in your field, because now we're identifying that there are several gaps that need to be filled. We have medical doctors that now don't know what, and the first place is, why don't they even know what they are doing? That means when they went to school, they didn't learn anything. But now the gaps are so much that, again, it gives you that opportunity to shine, and shine so brightly. So even if you want to travel because you want to improve yourself and come back. It's just that most times when they land there, the air touches there, like, my word, I'm not coming back again. But you can. I mean, somebody was telling me of a director that traveled and said she saw him on his WhatsApp status. He was backing baby. Director of a company. But guess what? In that organization, she literally does the director job. So I told her, what are you waiting for before you start demanding for increase in salary? Because I mean, but in this saying for, because not everybody can jackpot. We are over 200 million, correct? Yeah. I work in the NGO sector. And most times when I think about this jackpot thing, if I want to travel today, I can move. But I think about the millions that cannot travel. And that's why I am even more determined to make a difference. And just to give you some things to just help. In the country where you are in, instead of getting frustrated that you're not able to travel to Canada, because it's not compulsory that you must go to Canada or US to succeed in life. Success is not country-based. You can be successful anywhere. So start from where you are. And let me just give you, I'll run it very quickly. Number one, think solutions. Right from where you are. You know, I always tell people that leadership is seeing a need and reaching out to meet that need. Think solutions. What can I do in this my field? Do you understand where you are right now as an individual, whatever sector it is? What can I do? Think solutions. Number two, invest in yourself. And the reason you need to invest in yourself, because like she said, you cannot give what you don't have. Invest in yourself. So this field that you have decided to stay, this solution that you want to craft, you can't just, like some people say they want to enter business and they just enter. They don't study, they don't do anything, and that's why the business crashes within the first year. So invest in yourself, invest in your abilities, invest in your knowledge, invest in your capacity. Number three, start with one. I work in the NGO space, and sometimes I see some people that want to do social impact, and they're always thinking, oh, I want to impact the world. I want to make a difference. Where is the world? What is world? All of us here, are we not the world? Because why? We represent different communities. So start with one. And by starting with one, start from where you are. If it's your street you can impact, start from there. If it's the company you are working in, you can start with making a difference. Start from there. If you're a student in that school, start from that place. Start with one. Number 4, practice resilience. I know, yes, in Nigeria, the situation already, but it must be a conscious thing because there are more than enough challenges. I don't think that challenges are unique to Nigeria. Every country has its own challenge. People that talk about UK, health workers in UK, they were striking some weeks ago. They were on strike, demanding for pay. Of course, you won't see it in the news. You understand? So practice resilience, that no matter what happens, no matter what comes at you, no matter what life throws at you, you can keep going. Because trust me, if you really want to make a difference, you must be able to have staying power. Number 5, I would say focus on your part. I talked about head mentality. Most times we like to look at every other person. Oh, this is my friend. This is my friend. Me and the person just graduated. He don't buy car. Don't blow. You know, these people, especially all these skit makers, they only 2 skits. Next thing, they have bought mansion. You're wondering, really now? And the next thing, you too, you want to enter skit. You don't know what they are doing in the behind. It's not about what you see. They don't tell you half of it. You just see that it's skit. But there are things that go on. I'm not saying that's what all of them do. I'm just giving an example. So focus on your parts. This your part that you're on. Focus on it. And tell, okay, somebody is doing this. Celebrate the person. Oh, I'm happy for you. Congratulations. But this is my part. Number 6, don't wait for applause. A lot of time, people tend to wait for people you want to be celebrated. It's good to be celebrated. I mean, it feels good. But whether nobody celebrates you, whether nobody knows you, even if you don't blow on social media, focus on what you are doing and continue. Don't wait for the applause. You just focus on the journey. And the final thing I would say is enjoy the journey. Most times we are too focused on, I want to, but like Olumide was saying, like, you know, by 27, I want to have a car. By 30, you know, especially, I always see a lot of people lower than 30 having this very depressive mode. Oh, I'm 26, I've not accomplished anything. Really? Now what? You know, enjoy the journey. Enjoy the learning curve. If you make a mistake, mistake is not, carry yourself, start again. Enjoy that's one thing about my people. Those that are in they know me. I like to enjoy myself. In this level at this level I am, I will enjoy myself. When I get to the level of traveling to the Bahamas or wherever, I will enjoy myself. You know, enjoy the journey every step of the way. And where you are, you don't have to be in Canada. You don't have to be in US. This place you are in, enjoy yourself here. Build yourself and lead in your field. Thank you.
Please, a round of applause to all our panelists this morning. I'm sure you were able to learn a thing or two, and we're going to take charge. Please, a round of applause once again as they make their way to their seats. And I'm just going to immediately call on the program's director, Mrs. Ivy Ikpeme, for a presentation to our panelists. Please, a round of applause.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. So is it still morning? All right, it's just clocked past 12. First of all, I want to say thank you to the amazing speakers. I didn't come in early. I had another function to attend. But just coming in and listening to them speak and what they were saying, right, I already caught on really fast. Why? Because I actually, lead, some very amazing youths in our academy. We are a tech academy where we train youths to become software engineers. And, one of the things that I've had, actually, let me just rephrase. I've had the privilege, right, to actually be among these youths, right, and I see how focused and dedicated they are to learning because they want to lead in their field of software engineering. And so when you decide that you want to japa, you actually have to ask yourself, if I'm japaing, what am I going to go and do? Am I going to be, do I have any direction? Do I have a passion? Do I have a solution that I want to solve, right? Because then it will give you purpose. Without that, you would just be a heads you'll be among the head, like the last speaker, mentioned. So do you want to be among the heads, or do you want to be a shepherd leading the heads, right? So you need to ask yourself that question. Anyway, so I'm just here to introduce to you, to everyone, our academy. Our academy is a tech organization that is powered by a company called Africa Prudential. And what we do is that we actually train youth in a program to become software engineers. This year was our first cohort, and I have some of them here. Some of the academy guys, get up. Yes. I have some of them here today. We had to come because, they're also young and they're youth, and I also wanted them to hear, and listen to the conversation. It was an amazing conversation today. And, youths, one thing you have to understand is when you want to jackpot or anything you want to do research. On this, you have to know yourself, right? You have to know where the world is moving to as well, because you can meet the world exactly where you are, right? You don't have to run to leave the country like everybody else is doing. The world can come to you because of what you have inside you. And that's how you change the narrative. So what do you want to be? The guys in our academy, they've been trained to be software engineers. They're building solutions, right, already. And when you begin to build solutions, you begin to attract the world to you. So do you have what it is to get the world to attract the world to you? Are you honing those skills? Are you growing yourself? Are you developing yourself? If you're not, then it's about time for you to ask yourself, who am I? Who do I want to be? What do I want to do? The guys at our academy, they said, you know what? Everything they were doing, I want to become a software engineer. And we happen to be providing that training at the point in time, right? And so they are positioned to grow themselves. So ask yourself, who am I, or who do I want to be? And what are the things that I need to do to get me to that point, right? And then begin to grow your skills, okay? But then if you're doing that, you're focused. You're not running like everybody else. You're focused. And that way, you become a light that attracts the world to you, okay? Do you guys understand? Yes. I may look, like a youth, but I'm not very young like that, okay? So, but I can tell you that that is one of the things that you need to do. Stay true to you, but you must discover who you are first before you decide, okay, I want to, become a head, or, discover who you are, and then begin to grow your skill. Important, grow your skill and become a leader in that field. And one of the speakers said something that's very important. Leadership is not one day, it's many days, right? So even the guys at our academy right now, they've had 9 months in training, okay? They're graduating in December. But that doesn't mean that they are experts in their field. But because they know that this is the field I want to be, and there's a path for them to begin to work, and grow experience, what happens? They will become leaders in the field in the next few years, right? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because they've already taken the step to begin to learn. And someone else talked about process. Process in learning. Process is important. So you can't just say, oh, I'm going to learn something and think you're going to learn it in one day. There's a process to learning. Okay? So you guys, everything that the speakers have said today, I hope that you were noting down in your book, because it's not just coming here and listening. This guy they had a lot of wisdom that they shared. I mean, in the little time that I was here, I actually noted down and I picked up. So you go back and reflect on what they said, because you're younger. So you have to learn from the leaders, so you don't make some of the mistakes that we have made in our own time. All right? So, you guys, that's what I just wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Programs Director, Mrs. Ivy Ikpeme, yes, for that Academy presentation. We are definitely wrapping things up in a moment. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're not leaving here the same way you came. It's not possible. Oh, wrong. Say, oh, wrong. Oh, wrong, gone. We have learned so much. Thank you so much to all our panelists. Remember to please follow us on social media. We are going to be posting so much content,
some snippets of all the things that were said today on our social media handle. So please follow us on Instagram. It is Ylad_hub. On YouTube, it is Ylad Hub TV. And on Facebook, it is Ylab Hub. So yes, thank you very much. There's going to be refreshments. Yes, refreshments for every single person. And of course, photo session. Also, it's an opportunity for you to also network. You don't have to feel shy. Network. If you need anybody's contact, just walk up to the person. And it's also a good way to just, harness the people in your community and just, collaborate and see how you can move things further. Thank you so much. Once again, I want to say thank you for coming, for making time out here for Inspire to Lead Africa Conference 2023. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. Thank you so much. And of course, for our panelists, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, then, we have come to the end of this conference. Thank you so much.